Welcome to Storyline. My name is Adam Myers, and today we're going to go over Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev, the main event of UFC 322 this weekend at Madison Square Garden. I'm joined by Jeff Lucas. Jeff, we have an absolute A-list card from top to bottom. What is the fight you're looking forward to most?
Well, I think first of all, I'll say this is the best card of the year. There's no question about that. It's been said to death, but it's true. JDM versus Islam. Obviously, it's the big one. I'm looking forward to things on the prelims, to be honest. But it's JDM for me to find out if he really is, what I think he is, and a possible future Hall of Famer.
That's right. A crazy win streak for Jack going into this fight. It was 18 wins in a row. He had 2 early skids in a 10-week period. The very start of his career has been perfect ever since. For me, I'm looking at Jack and Islam as that classic striker versus grappler matchup. Although Jack does have incredible grappling, as shown in the Bilal Muhammad Championship victory, and Islam does have incredible striking, the head kick knockout of Volk comes to mind straight away, and how he handled Dustin's boxing attack. But really, at the crux of the victory for either boy, it's going to be Islam. Can he control Jack on the fence? Can he control him on the ground? Keep him down if he gets in there? And can Jack implement his amazing body shots and boxing to get it done?
Yeah, I think as well, the 2 times when Jack has looked not as strong has been against Basil Hafez, where he was getting wrestled pretty heavily, as well as against Gilbert Burns. I mean, ultimately he won both of those though. So, I mean, that's a feather in his cap, but I do see the danger, the striker versus grappler, that's where his danger comes in for me.
Yeah, and a really interesting thing that Dustin talked about when he lost to Islam is the incredible strength of Islam Makhachev. Islam did the grip test to see how strong he was, and he actually got 161 pounds, which is 30 pounds above former UFC heavyweight champion Stipe Miocic.
Yeah, okay.
That is a crazy amount of physical strength for what was once a lightweight, now a welterweight, coming into this welterweight championship match this weekend.
I think another thing as well, Jack has got good cardio. I mean, we saw Islam struggle against Volk. There's the weight cut aspect that you're aware of, the rehydration rules of Australia. Probably better than I am. So I'm not sure whether that sort of factors in that he's going to be hydrated better. But I think cardio also plays a role in this if he can keep his arm off him for a few rounds at least.
That's true. Cardio will be tested with those body shots from Jack. He landed quite a few and has a few body shot stoppages as well.
And the body shots, I always sort of see him, puts him in a good position to sprawl, I guess. That's always his hands are either there or he shields up and he drops low. I think he does have what it takes to stop this up.
If Jack is to win, who do you think is next for Jack after this fight?
Okay, I think that really matters with what happens with Sean Brady.
Okay,
yeah.
Tell me more.
So I think if Sean Brady can get a big win, Morales is an animal. And so if he can get rid of Morales has an 18-0 fight streak. So if he does that, I think it's obviously him. His sharp cut's out at the minute. So if not, sharp cut would be the one I would look at. But I think the UFC will reward Brady. If he gets a win here, he could also get knocked out.
That's so true. And Brady just came off the win from Leon Edwards, former champ. That fight was originally scheduled to be JDM's fight in the first place. JDM obviously jumped up and had the shot while Shavkat's been injured. And Shavkat is still on the shelf, so although he's ranked super high, I believe he's 2 or 3, he's kind of not really in the picture right now if you're not available to fight.
And also, Ian Gary, to me, is super talented. But I don't know how the UFC thinks, right? They want big fights, and he's been accused of being a little bit safe in some of his fights. I think he's brilliant to watch. I like watching him.
Yeah.
But I think someone like Brady getting finishes, like he has been in recent times, how he goes, we'll put it at the front of the back, I think.
Right, yeah, and we'll get to those fights as we go down the main card. There's an absolute stats card from main event all the way down, even in the prelims, as you said. There are plenty of ranked fighters on the prelims, which is uncommon in today's day and age outside of the Apex cards. We're going to move on to the next topic. Does size matter? When it comes to JDM versus Islam Makhachev, Islam is a big guy, but coming up from lightweight, dealing with Jack, who's a very natural welterweight.
I think it does, particularly when we're talking about, you mentioned sort of scrambling and things like that. So, I mean, I do think it matters in regards to sprawling and scrambling. Size does matter. His big wins, Islam, are against guys who are traditionally lightweights. They're not really, I can't think off the top of my head, maybe I'm wrong, of somebody who's Jack's size. He's actually fought. I'm sure he has in training, I'm sure he does it all the time, but someone of that caliber who's that size, I think it matters. I'm so biased though.
Yeah, there's a bit of bias here coming from an Australian MMA podcast. But I want to give Islam his flowers. A lot of fights, a lot of wins in a row, a lot of late notice replacements that, as Khabib had said in the past, send anyone if they can make 155, I'll fight them tomorrow night. The Hanada Moicano fight obviously comes to mind very late notice. Islam's been able to dispatch all of those guys with relative ease. His toughest fight coming in the form of Alex Volkanovski. Some believe that Alex won that fight. I'm one of those people, but again, it could be bias. But then obviously he fixes it straight away out with the head kick win the next time they fought. Now you're talking about those title defenses. You've got Moicano, Poirier, Volkanovski twice. Volkanovski's a featherweight. So I don't believe that striking power will translate up to welterweight as well as the grappling strength may do. But I do believe that Islam's best chance and best path to victory against Jack Della Maddalena is to not let Jack back him up against the fence, to keep control of the centre and push Jack up against the fence himself past that black line and be able to push him up against the fence and eventually drown him to the ground. Because Islam isn't someone who's going to shoot that crazy double from very far away. He presses up against the fence, gets his grip, gets the body lock, which he's very good at, and he'll drag him down and hold him down for the whole round. These guys are experts at winning matches, not necessarily finishing them. However, Islam has a lot of finishes. So it's not the same kind of Dagestani wrestler we're talking about here.
He's a finisher, 100%. And if you rest, he just advances positions. And I think, definitely he'll go for a finish, any chance he can.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, that's a crazy main event, Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev. Now, what happens for Islam if Islam wins? Does Sean Brady come up? Does Morales come up? Are you interested in Michael Morales versus Islam Makhachev? You're not.
No, and the size difference of that is insane because Morales is huge, and so I mean maybe I am in terms of like just a clown fight, right? But actually, I got it out just to see what would happen. But I think in reality, no, I think. I don't know, Tapuria just keeps saying he's going to come up, that is three-weight divisions. I don't really know, the guy's an animal, but does he go back down or do you think he just stays here? Because I think that's really the big question, because the biggest fight, if he wins this, the biggest fight in the UFC is if he goes back down.
That's so true.
But I don't really know what that's like to do to your body.
It's not good for your body, especially with Islam putting a little bit of weight to make 170. He already walks around at 85 to 86 kilos. For those in America, 86 kilos is about 195 pounds. 77 kilos is 170. So you're talking about a very big drop from 77 down to 70 again. When he's already weighing in at about 86, 87 for this weight cut.
And putting muscle on.
That's right.
So
there's more water than drain when you have more muscle on. This is not nutritional advice. We're not nutritionists. We're just fighters and fans. So in the next fight for Islam, I'm more interested in Kamaru Usman. I don't really like the Ilya Topuria fight. I don't like Ilya coming up to welterweight. Not when you've just come up to another weight class. It seems like we're kind of spamming stats here. You know? Let him fight. He's got Gaethje, he's got Pimblett, he's got other events that he's got Arman Sarukian, who may or may not turn up, who knows. But I think Ilya has at least 2 or 3 defences before you can warrant a third title shot.
As a fan, I want to see the sport stay like a sport. I don't want this idea of it being too much of an exhibition, fighting, So I like the idea of it being sport and clearing out your division and sort of giving people a chance in the division rather than making these super fights. I just know how they think, but I think you're right, with the size, it's probably not the way to go. Who else is there? I mean, there's a lot of fun fights there. I mean, you got someone Shavkat. Imagine Shavkat versus Islam. That's
a crazy fight. That's a crazy fight. I think the star power and availability of Islam isn't injured. The best fight is Kamaru Usman in the early year before Ramadan, before he takes some time off. Islam normally gets 2 fights a year, so we're looking at an early one, maybe February, and then we're looking at a later one, maybe October, November again, depending on the events. I'll save Islam for big events later in the year, as they typically have with Khabib in the past at Madison Square Garden with McGregor. I believe Kamaru Usman is a great matchup, big guy, but he has to get through this crazy test this weekend. And I tell you what, no one thought Jack was going to stop the lull, but Islam isn't allowed.
That's it.
That's right. Look, we're going to move on to the co-main event. Next topic number 3. Valentina Shevchenko, my favourite fighter, versus Weili Zhang for the UFC Flyweight Championship of the World. Striking, accuracy, and speed. This is going to be a crazy fight. What are your initial thoughts?
Well, okay, so initial thoughts, size, does size matter? This comes into this fight as well. Shevchenko is the heavier one. She's the better grappler as well.
Yeah.
So if size matters, and it matters because they're a grappler as well. My thoughts as a fan is kind of like, oh, okay, is that too much of a tall order for Wiley to overcome? Her hands are incredible though. She has the heart of a lioness. So if somebody can overcome that challenge, she's that person.
Yeah.
Will she? No, I actually pick Shevchenko, I think, in this fight.
Right, I'm going to pick Shevchenko as well, and the reason is the striking power at flyweight, the striking accuracy at flyweight, the height differential, and also the grappling prowess, the way that she controlled Alexa Grasso in the fight that she got back. The draw, I believe, Valentina also won, so I believe Valentina in those last 2 fights really earned her way to Hall of Fame status. And not that Zhang hasn't earned that title, that accolade as well, but I think this is going to be the fight to say who is the best at 115-25 for the last 5 to 6 years, and it's looking like it's going to be Valentina Shevchenko. Let's look outside the UFC and say, look, Valentina wins this match. Who's Valentina got after this? What interesting matchups do we have at 125 outside of Weili Zhang and this amazing challenge that's come up? Mackenzie's now the champion down below. What do we do at 125 after this?
I mean, I'm not really sure. I think you were telling me, so I'll let you kind of go into that.
Okay, I have an idea. Look, there's an absolute superstar in Dakota Ditcheva at the PFL. She's easily, I think, the best 125 fighter outside of the UFC, and probably the best in the top 5. In the UFC, I think Dakota would be top 5 after one fight. However, we have had this problem with guys and girls coming from the PFL, coming from Bellator. Michael Chandler is like 2-6 in the UFC now. Although all the fights for Michael Chandler, respect to Chandler, seeing at the top, all the fights have been great, but you've lost almost all of them. So let's talk about world championship, world caliber level. Dakota comes in, Pico as well, that's right. Pico's had one, so we'll see what happens to the next one. But also, what is the other guy? Patchy Mix. Again, hasn't met crowd expectations.
I mean, even MVP, excellent, but didn't reach his heights. Granted, he came up towards the end. Pitbull's the exact same, just to name a few. I get your point,
So I really want Dakota to come into the UFC, trade someone else, trade Magomed Ankalaev for it. I mean, Ankalaev out of PFL, I'm calling, hey, Dana, Ankalaev out, Dakota in, make the trade, please.
Don't have us Ankalaev.
Sacrifice Ankalaev, we want Dakota Ditcheva in the UFC, trade him. Valentina is an absolute amazing athlete, super humble. These are 2 amazing martial artists.
Absolutely.
I believe the grappling will decide the match between Valentina and Weili Zhang. I believe the striking will negate. The only gap that I see in the striking is Valentina's incredible ability to kick at that super long range. Weili is very tight, although very accurate and sharp. That length makes a difference, especially in upper weight class and against someone who's equally fast. The Weili comes up, but I don't think that speed advantage is going to be there the way that they may be believing it will be.
That's a good point, and I think the only other thing that's completely not technical whatsoever, I always just think this, when someone's getting towards that age and they've dominated for so long, when's the fight that they stop, you know? And I'm not insinuating I believe Shevchenko wins this one, but I always think this, when someone's gone for this long, it has to end at some point, right? And so if it's not now, I mean, you know, it might be, like you said, I thought he forgot my name, I'm sorry, he's come over.
Dakota Ditcheva, and I think Valentina did end at one point and came right back with 2 victories over Alexa Grasso.
That's true, actually.
There you go. Let's move on to the rest of the card. We have an absolute stellar card. I want to talk about this sort of 4-round bracket. We've got welterweight bangers down the list. Sean Brady and Rafa Morales, Leon Edwards and Carlos Praches. Talk to me about your thoughts about these fights.
Okay, so first of all, if we go with Brady versus Morales, I mean, so I actually recently only just learned, like I was talking to you when I watched Jake Matthews fight against him recently, and when I was rewatching it recently, and I sort of felt that he should have tested the grappling more as a pure armchair fan that knows nothing. So, you know, however, I've learned now that both his parents were judokas and that he is actually exceptional at judo, and his takedown defense is exceptional. I've seen it in some other fights, but maybe it was a tactical thing. My whole point is here, if he can stop Brady from the takedowns, I think he wins this fight. He's a better striker than Brady. But Brady is exceptional. I think he can't stop the takedowns. I think Brady will get them, and I think Brady gets a submission, personally.
I think Sean Brady gets this fight down to the ground. I think Sean Brady looks like a world beater against guys that are great strikers like Leon Edwards that have questionable takedown defense. Michael Morales, though, amazing takedown defense, amazing grappling ability. It's definitely an interesting match, and I think sets the guy up. To be honest, I think Sean Brady and Michael Morales, and you've also got Leon Edwards down there at the bottom with Carlos Paches, which we'll get to next. But I think Sean Brady and Michael Morales sets up to fight the loser of the main event.
100%. It's like if you think if Morales goes 19-0 with Sean Brady being the last one, I mean, and like I can see it. He could possibly get a finish. This is a crazy fight. It sets him right up. We shut Part out with the way the division is at the minute, full of killers, but that would put him right to the front, I believe.
Is welterweight the premier weight division in the UFC at the moment?
Well, I didn't think it was probably about a year ago, but I think it is now. And if you think of the age of some of these guys, like so JDM, let's imagine he gets a win, right? And you've got Sharkhart's not insanely old. Ian Gary's young. Morales is young, comparatively. Brady, I'm not really sure how old Brady is actually, but I don't think he's too old.
I believe he's in the late 20s.
I mean, so these guys could be duking this out for quite a long time.
That's so true. Sean is very young. Let's double check Sean's age.
Yeah, no worries.
I believe he is maybe 29, if I'm not mistaken.
So that's really what excites me about the division overall.
Sean Brady is 32.
Okay, so he's got longevity still. Like
Sean Brady turns 33 in 10 days.
Yeah, okay. Happy birthday, Sean Brady.
Happy birthday, Sean Brady. Hopefully you'll win this weekend, mate. So we've got, Sean and Michael, and then we've got Leon and Carlos Paches. This is a striker's delight, this match. I think Leon's got it. I think Leon's going to come back, get another one done. I noticed in some of the clips that it doesn't appear Carlos Paches is coming with the fighting nerves this time. He's coming with a different camp.
Is he?
Yeah, that may seem, maybe it's just from the clips, maybe I'm wrong, but from all the highlight videos I see, I can't see him in those glasses anymore.
Okay, well, that definitely changes things because I'm not really sure what the back. Okay, I'd have to know what the background of that was to imagine that's really going to change things that much. I see Edwards' pathway like pure mixed martial arts in this fight. I mean, what I'm talking about is like grappling and clinch work because I think in a pure striking fight, Paches has more heart. Now, I know that's not something you can always quantify, but he has a lot more heart, it seems, a lot more drive. He seems hungrier. But I think Edwards overall is the better rounded fighter, and I think if he plays his cards right, in a 3-round fight, not one where you get tired over 5, that's the way to win it.
I think if Leon wins in spectacular fashion and Sean loses, we can see Leon versus Jack in Sydney for the main event in February.
I'd like to watch
Old Australia versus England rivalry here in Australia.
I'd love to watch that fight. I think Jack bangs him as well.
I think it's the only way that Leon gets a title shot is if Sean loses. If he gets back up there, Sean must lose. You can't MMA match Sean away if Sean beats Michael Morales.
Alternatively, what happens if he goes out, slips on a banana peel and Paches puts his lights out quickly? Like, what happens to him now?
I don't think Paches has the name value to jump to a title shot, even with a victory over Leon Edwards.
Not so much Paches, sorry, thinking of Edwards. What happens to Edwards? That would be a bit of a fight skid after that. If he loses another. If he loses another. In devastating fashion.
In devastating fashion, he's in Colby Covington territory. Colby's lost 2 of his I think he's lost 5 of his last 7. So I think Leon will have to really consider whether or not he should continue. If he has a devastating knockout loss, maybe have one more round trip around the sun and see if he can get another win in the new year. But I think if he loses in terms of title shots, we're over for Leon Edwards.
And you know how the UFC thinks. He took a lot of time off regularly when he was fighting. He's not necessarily a huge star, unfortunately. It's not insulting, it's just not compared to some of the other guys. A 3-fight skid in losing in devastating fashion, I could see them throwing him to the wolves.
I can see them throwing Leon to someone like Neil Magny or Randy Brown, who can give him a good fight, tough fight, and it keeps him active in the division, but not necessarily in the title picture anymore. This is an outskirts of the title picture fight, Leon Edwards versus Carlos Paches. The winner gets themselves in the picture, but not necessarily the title shot itself.
Absolutely, that's a good point.
We've got Sean Brady Morales. I believe Sean Brady gets it done. I think Leon Edwards gets it done, and I think he needs to get it done.
How do you see Brady getting a finish? Do you see him controlling Morales for a while?
I see Brady getting an unanimous decision victory. After 3 hard rounds, a close first round, and then 2 dominant ones. He's a very strong man. And I think Valentina wins by TKO.
Valentina by TKO?
Valentina by TKO. I'm going to pick it right now. Valentina by TKO, round 3. I
like it. For me, that fight goes the distance. Valentina controlling her. That's how I see it.
And the last one, JDM Islam, make a prediction. Round.
I reckon a round 3 knockout by JDM. He scrambled a few different times. I don't think Islam's I don't think his mind sort of falters, but I think maybe his cardio begins to falter, and the shots arrive for him.
I think we've got JDM TKO round 2,
Yeah.
or Islam submission round 4.
Yeah, that's quite possible as well.
I think those are equal possibilities. Guys, this is UFC 322 preview with myself, Adam Myers. This is Jeff Lucas. This was Storyline.